the news right now because I think it's a little too early for the movies, and I want to
think
get
that these are
the
disagreements
early
that are actually
morning
signs of a
rush.
healthy relationship.
I'm
And
on
I mean
Donnie
that
right
I think too
now. I was
often
talking about
mayors and leaders
Trump
are looking to surround
voters
themselves with people
when they
who are
voted for
characterized by the
Mamdani
quickness with which they can say yes,
because
as
of
opposed to
his
the quickness with which
approach
they can tell
towards
you their
affordable
honest
living. But
opinion.
I don't think that's
And I'm very
true.
clear in my support for the
But
criminal
what do
legal
I know?
reforms.
I'm not a
For example, one
politician.
disagreement that I have
All I
with
do
what
is
the
talk
commissioner has
about
stated
politics, they
is I
say.
believe the issue with
Uncle
raising the
Bobby's
age
looking
is
at
not
politics.
the language within the legislation. I believe the issue is the fact
What's
that there
going
were
on, people? What's
significant
happening?
amounts of
How
money
was your
that
day
were set
going?
to be delivered
Hopefully
to
you're
help with the
starting it off
implementation
right.
of that criminal legal reform
Hopefully
that
Uncle
were never
Bobby's gonna
released
bring
to
you that
continue
banger
the
after
language
banger
of
after
law.
banger,
That is one point of
as I tend to
disagreement
do.
and one place where I continue to hope to advocate for the release of that fund.
Give me a second so that I can set this up, and then I'll wait for people to get in, and then we can talk about
I
something.
continue to have
Hopefully I
concerns
can get
about the vast
Naruto and
fragment
Aaliyah.
and ways in which
Although I don't
many New
think that this
Yorkers
is
are
your
being put into that database.
stuff here, but maybe we could get you into conversation. Maybe we could get Sassy and everybody else. Metro Mate, hope you're doing better. Shri, Ross Lynch fan, everybody at Queen Blazler 85, Dr. Z, Mr. Gucci, Mr. Dior,
Can I
Brian
do the first
Shaw,
one?
my boy Pun, aka Porque tú
I
estás
spoke
poniendo
specifically
guapo.
about the race that was being considered
My
yesterday.
boy Pito.
This was not a sweeping statement. This was specific.
Chino, everybody. Everybody get the shout outs this morning.
What I've said is that my focus
My
is
boy
on
B.
delivering
Wade.
immediate steps towards accountability. The CCRB is tasked with that accountability. And right now, we are seeing that petty politics and budget battles have rendered it all the more difficult for them to deliver that. In 2024, lack of funding led to the CCRB dropping at least 700 cases. I've heard estimates from others that the number is actually, in fact, higher than that. What I am committing to is fully funding the CCRB immediately, such that we can ensure that these days of these kinds of budget battles come to an end.
I didn't buy it. I
What
didn't
I
walk in
believe
and
is that
say,
the
I want
CCRB's
this
recommendations
donkey
should be
dick
taken
here.
seriously, and that we should ensure they're
Dr.
able
Z
to make
did.
those recommendations time and again, not having to worry about whether they have the funding to assess those cases.
But is this man a donkey dick?
How's it going?
He might be. He might be. Is he leading us to a new path? I don't know.
This is a meeting to share the facts about the affordability crisis in the city, a meeting to speak about the importance of public safety and economic security. When we speak about what New Yorkers are going through right now, they are facing a reality that they may have to leave the city. I have met
financial
New Yorkers time and time again, and
instability.
when I ask them where they live, they tell me it's other states. They tell me they live in New Jersey, they live in Pennsylvania, they live in Connecticut. That's because we've priced them out. And my intention is to make clear to the president what New Yorkers are having to live through right now.
Look, if he's talking to people from there,
from
from all those other places, then he's obviously not talking to real New Yorkers. What's wrong with this man? He's already starting off on the wrong foot.
Well, I think affordability was at the core of our campaign.
It
And also, it
was.
was
You said you
affordability
think it
based on the
was.
value of protecting each and every New Yorker. That means protecting them from price gouging in their lives. It also means protecting them from ICE agents and making it clear
Help.
that I will look to be representing
They're
every
gouging
single
the
person who owns the
prices.
city home.
ICE agents are looking to gouge my eyes out. Help! President Trumpkin. This man keeps talking about beating the president. He couldn't even outlift Eric Adams. How's he going to beat up this 78-year-old man?
Well, I think being a New Yorker means that you're prepared for all situations,
He probably couldn't
all kind
lift
of
this man's
comments,
Big
all kind
Mac
of
sauce.
commentary. And at the end of it, the focus has to be, what's the case that you're making? Why are you there? And for me, it's not about myself. It's not about a relationship with an individual. It's about a relationship between New York City and the White House, the president, the federal administration. And I will look to make clear that my interest goes beyond any one of an individual. It's for the people that I look to represent. That's the case I'll make.
Are you representing the New York people or are you representing the Muslim people? We want to know.
I'll stand up for New Yorkers every single day. Thank you, man.
He's not going to be a good defense, though. We don't think that he will be. I mean, we'll see.
This is the only meeting I have.
He may be struggling to lift
As soon
his
as I have any
bucket
more
weight
details,
around.
It's going to be happening tomorrow. Not as yet, brother, but I'll let you know.
Okay, so that was Mayor Alex Montani, who was at his news conference.
They're having audio issues.
Was just
It's a little
to
early in the
right
day.
of
They didn't
screen
get the
there.
coffee
He
and
did
the
confirm that
donuts
tomorrow
and
he will be heading
it
down
just
to
shows.
Washington, D.C., where he will be meeting with President Donald Trump. He said, "I will meet with anyone if it's for the good of New Yorkers." He says he intends to
New
reach out
Yorkers
and give his message,
doing New
give
York
his message of
things,
affordability, the
like
message that
walking
he
the
campaigned on
Yorkies.
so much here, and the reason why he did win the New York City
I
mayoral
got
race.
shih
The
tzus.
affordability issue certainly was at the core of that. We're going to take a quick break. It is 10:09. We've been on since 10 o'clock. When we come back, Viola Tomasetti is here.
You give us
She's
9
going
minutes,
to sort of digest with
then
us
you
what
wanna
we
go
just
to
heard.
commercial
So,
breaks.
Quick break and we'll be right back.
Fucking guys over here. What is happening with the fucking lackluster news programming here? They come off talking about Mondani, his meeting with Trump, his affordable care plans. And I'm not impressed. I don't think you are either. Did this man's smile and charms impress you? His politics? You know, we talk about communists, socialists, and Marxists. And, you know, the question of the day is, you know, we want to know, how are your marks? I'm sorry, it was a terrible joke, a terrible setup. I was trying to get the stuff together. We're getting ready. I'm waiting for the news to come back from his break. We're showing you the serene Christmas tree. I may have lost the morning shift here. I may have lost the morning shift. Let me show you something. It sometimes tends to, you know, captivate my attention at times. You know, when I'm doing things, at times. Is this cup gonna get in the way of the view? Slightly. Only slightly. Wow. What's going on, people? I'm here. I'm just waiting for people to get in. We're getting ready to set up for a show here. As only Uncle Bobby can do it. He's looking to bring it bigger, with your video larger than everybody else. Even if they say he's coming up a little bit too short.
We'll be going down to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump.
Trump.
Sitting here now. You've been reporting on this
Mondani
all
meeting.
morning. So not unexpected.
What do you
that he
think
did
is going to come
confirm
out of this?
No, this is a meeting.
Are
we
you
all
a native
expected
New
to
Yorker?
happen. The question wasn't if, it
Are you
was more
somebody
so
from
when.
somewhere else, from out of
Some of us
state,
were
from out of
surprised
country? It
after
doesn't matter
reporting
because
on
my
this morning.
show
All right, a little
likes
bit
to bring
soon,
everybody
but,
together.
you know,
Like
we
one
can
slice of bread
kind of
and another
longest.
slice of bread coming together like a sandwich.
So he talked
And
about
hopefully
it
you're looking
in
to take a big
Maryland.
bite out of my sandwich.
Why would you get on there? Why
Yum,
you
yum, yum,
want
yum, yum.
President Trump?
Delicious.
Still calling him the
Because, you know,
communist
sometimes
leader.
you
Let's
might
take
have a little
listen
bit
to
of
what
those
he said
oat
at the
grains, and we don't
very
like that in our
beginning.
food. Who the hell said that was healthy, beneficial sources of anything? Really, that's just gonna make you have to go poo in the potty. Oh, we got Mondani back. Mondani. What is he gonna talk about now?
Morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I will be heading to Washington, D.C.
I will be
tomorrow
heading to
meet
Washington.
with President Trump in the White House.
Trumpkins,
It is
be
customary for
aware.
an incoming mayor of this city to meet with the White House, given
He
the
said he's
mutual reliance.
extracting himself from the
It's more
SP5.
critical
We're
than
going to
ever.
look into it.
Given the national crisis of affordability,
Thank you,
one that New Yorkers know
David.
very well across these 5 boroughs, and the specific challenge many cities are facing with balancing public safety against steps taken by this administration. I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers,
Is this the
meeting
problems
is
of the
between
big,
2
beautiful
very
bill?
different candidates who they voted for the same reason. They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford
You
living in
mean
this
false
city.
promises and broken
My team
dreams?
reached out to the
Sure,
White House
sure.
to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable.
Man is desperate.
for the
He's
more than
willing to work with
8.5
anybody.
million people who call this city home.
Please.
I have
Please
many
work with me.
disagreements with the president. And I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that could make our city affordable for every single New Yorker.
Did they maneuver this
I
man
intend
into
to
a
make it
place
clear
of
to
power?
President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits
We all
New
want to
Yorkers.
know.
If an agenda hurts New Yorkers, I will also be the first to say so. Thank you.
I don't like, some of the
All right, so you just heard from the mayor-elect there. Essentially what he's saying is,
I don't see
I'll
no
meet with
Muslim
anybody if it's
people
for the
on
good
these
of
dollar
New
bills
Yorkers.
there.
So we kind of expected him to say something along those lines. And we did get the initial confirmation about this last night when President Trump put out, it's not a tweet, it's a
I don't
Truth
have
Social
anything to do
post.
with that,
What did
Steve.
he say in that
He's
post?
somewhat
But I'm
mocked
cool with the
Mamdani, which
Saudis.
is why a lot of people, like you said, are
Mamdani.
asking, hey, why do you want to go meet with him?
I don't know about that
I'm
guy.
doing
He
this for
talked
New
a little
York,
bit
I'm not
tough.
doing this because
But
I
now he
have
had to
to,
change his
because I
tone
want
there,
to,
didn't
and,
he? Yeah,
let
he
me
had
get
to
the
change his tone
statement for
there.
you. It's
He spoken, put it out on Truth Social,
I
and
got
he
it.
essentially wasn't too complimentary
no,
of the man.
and a
Okay,
lot
there it
of
goes.
not,
right there.
not
We got
much
it
of.
on
Oh, we got it right there. All right, so
Communist
let's read
mayor
it.
of New York
Communist
City,
mayor,
Zarai
Communist mayor of New
Kawani
York City, Zoran
Mamdani has
Kwame
to be
Mamdani,
for a
and that's
meeting
in
and to
quotations.
agree
His
to
middle
meet
name
with
has
this
asked for a
character
meeting.
take place
We
in
have
the
agreed
Oval
that this
Office
meeting
on
will take
Friday,
place at
November
the Oval Office on
21st.
Friday, November
And
21st.
further details to
Further
follow
details
as I will bend this
Okay,
man over the Oval
it's
Office
interesting you
and
put
give
the
him a rough
quotations
pounding
on
and
there,
possibly
essentially
smell on his
trying
feet
to
like Elon
convey
Musk.
something there.
Oh,
Obviously,
this
is
man's
sort of
putting
part of
out a
that.
lot
If for
there.
no other reason
I
than
thought
to
Twitter
just say
went
you're
down
coming
yesterday.
into
Why is
my
he still
house, and this
posting
is how
stuff
I'm
like
going
this?
to-
And
I
you
will
kinda actually
rub
see,
my
and
forehead on my
looking at the
Donnie's
elections
chitty
from
chin
just earlier
hairs.
this month,
Trump.
Republicans
A
didn't
little
fare
bit
too well,
crazy
and I
today.
think that
I'm
Trump's tone
surprised.
is changing a little bit
I'm
to
a little
address
bit of a
affordability
deeper
more. He knows that
Did enjoy
Mamdani
Uncle
not only
Bobby's
gained
live
momentum,
streams.
he
I feel like
won
I
the
want to
mayoral
add to
election,
this.
and he did
Oh,
acknowledge
thank
the
you,
polls
sir.
that
I
it looks like
appreciate
he's
all
going
that,
to
but
win.
nobody likes
But
you right
maybe
now.
this could be a productive
Nobody likes your
conversation.
tariffs.
This is also somebody who threatened to pull federal funding
Not
from the
too
city
big
should
in New
Mamdani
York.
have won.
I mean, honestly, I
And
don't
now
have
it
an
looks like
issue with
also
you
that they
too
made the
much.
announcement that
I find you
there's
to be a
gonna more
hilariously
federal
gross-smelling
enforcement, some of those
character.
ice raids and things along
Right,
those
we saw
lines.
Tom
That
Bowman, the borders
And with
on
this
talking
whole
about
Bubba
that.
stuff.
I reported on that yesterday.
You know what Bubba
We don't know
Stripp's
when
like.
that will happen. What we've seen it
That's what
happen
we've
in other
heard.
cities. Charlotte, there was just a big ICE enforcement,
yeah,
operation
for
there.
sure.
There you go. Took the words right out of my mouth. So
Uh-oh.
this will be interesting to see. And we have a reporter going down there tomorrow, Morgan Mackay.
one of the things that was very interesting that he talked about
Is the
he was
chemistry
asked
going
at
on
the
with
end of
these
that news
two?
conference was, what if the president essentially comes at
Just
you
the
the
mole
way
on
he's
this
coming
man's
at you in the
face
streets?
having a
You know,
will they
somebody
won't they
brought up
moment with
when
this woman
the
here.
Ukrainian president Volodymyr Zelensky was at the White
Vladimir,
House and was in the
Vladimir.
Oval Office and was essentially
Yeah,
berated
struggle.
by the president and by Jamie
don't talk
Vance,
so
the,
good.
vice president. And they asked him at the end of that press conference, said, if
Was
he does that to
good.
you, are you going to take it? And it was interesting. 'cause he said,
John
"I'm gonna stand up-
Zago
I'm gonna stand up for
or
him." So
Zigo?
in
Let me
one
see.
sense, he's kind of saying, I'm going
Give me a second. I want to give you the proper shout out here.
Stand up for myself in that way.
John Zigote. All right, what's up? What's up?
His campaign before Mamdani. Hey, listen, how are you going to address Trump?
Bah, I might be a goat too.
And he said that he's going to stand up for New York.
No, but they're talking about Mamdani.
Verbally speaking out.
They're talking about what's going on in the newsroom.
Maybe Trump will like.
He's supposed to meet with Trump tomorrow.
Reporters after, like he typically does in the Oval Office, but are we gonna see that whole thing play out?
I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm a New Yorker, so this is this is something that's interesting me.
You know, and this is one
But
of those
hopefully
things where
this might
the
interest you.
most interesting things about
Who
this,
knows?
Obviously, what they talk about, the affordability issues.
But we're looking to
whether or
run
not federal
content
dollars
that the
will
people
continue to
want.
flow,
So
what's gonna
anytime
happen
somebody
with
has an
policy
idea or
and all these
suggestion,
things. But so much of the campaign,
you know, we could probably do
especially
that.
from former
Probably
Governor
move to a
Cuomo,
movie
is that
or have a
Mamdani
discussion
doesn't have the
about
experience
whatever you
to
like. It
stand
doesn't
up
have
to
to be
someone
about
who gets
politics,
run
really.
over by him. And then all of a sudden here we have within the first 2 weeks that there's going to be this trip down to Washington D.C. and it was Mamdani who was the one. who
Mamdani
initially showed
rules.
it.
Yeah, and you also, other than affordability.
We're gonna have Zaria rules or whatever they were talking about, Zachary rules.
Con Ed bills. But
Yak
public safety
rules.
was another thing he said.
Whatever rules that was, Shakara rules, I don't know. Shakira.
The Tish announcement that he's keeping her on as commissioner. What's going to happen in that sector? What they're going to talk about locally and federally.
But how are you doing?
10:18 Thursday morning.
How's your day
Anything else?
going? Let us
Anything
know.
else that you wanted to talk about?
I appreciate the thumbs
All
up.
morning long, you were on this one. The one thing is because we heard from Mamdani last night.
John
He was on-
Zago,
in a,
and whoever else is out there.
NBC streaming channel.
Okay.
If you want to get a shout out, all you got to do is comment.
But
I'm looking to
we
get
don't
back
need
at
to hear
you.
that because we heard from him this morning.
No, I'm looking at my notes. Let's
yeah.
see. I think we talked. We hit it all.
All right, perfect. All right, so let's take a quick break. Briella, thank you so much. We come back. Of course, the Olympic story got into
Oh, they're going for the commercial break.
files. Oh,
If
boy.
anybody
What's gonna come out?
could find
What's gonna be
Aaliyah
inside
with
of
one
that?
A, not
We could be
two,
in trouble.
let her know she has to comment on the video or something so that I can find her. Because I'm having an issue finding her page. I keep getting caught with the singer Aaliyah. May she rest in peace. Rest in peace. Aaliyah.
That's DSNP. Stands for Dual Eligibility.
Ah! He's pecking me. He's pecking me. Ah!
Dental, vision, and hearing. And I can even see specialists.
I'm not bleeding, though.
Or low copay.
You didn't break the skin.
Benefits like $0 copays on prescriptions.
I can't find my controller to mute this. Hold on.
For everyday
I'm having an
stuff.
issue today.
And real human support.
We're having real human support, not AI. It is not a chatbot over the phone giving you an issue. Hello. Can I get to directory? Can I speak to an agent? How may I further help you? Give me a human being to talk to.
877-220-8190 or visit WellCareMore.com to see if you qualify for more benefits.
That was an issue yesterday.
You know the feeling
That nearly cost my life because, you know, when Dr. Z gets a little bit angry on these phone calls
Like this bag.
that she shouldn't be having while she's driving.
These boots.
It causes her to do a Nick Cage and drive angry, and then I have to worry about swerving or
It's
ah.
simple. Snap, upload, and sell without.
But what's going on?
Give a second life to your clothes.
I'm gonna put this fake cell phone down
Space and money at the same time.
that I was using for a reference. But how's everybody doing? Look at the Sweet Butters shirt, reverse cowgirl. Because this is how you're supposed to use the toilet, they say. They say we've been doing it the wrong way the whole time.
13 accounts with automatic protection.
What do I know? Waiting for this thing to get back to the news. Yeah. We've been having issues. They've been having issues. We're starting the morning off with several different issues. Several.
Right here in New York City, but Live View 11 is the one that we're looking at right there.
All right, let's see what's going
The
on.
White House, the People's House, yes.
In the
sir,
House of
this is
White.
happening there. We know that the mayor-elect Zoran Mamdani will be taking a visit down to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump, but it's also
Zoran
where President
Mamdani
Trump
is going to the
signed
White
this
House.
Controversial
You know what that means.
law, proposal, legislation that orders the
I'd take a
release
bump,
of the
sir.
Epstein
You're going to
files.
the White House
There
for a
was debate
bump.
about whether or not he was going to drag it out.
They both
It
look like they
happened
do
last
stuff
night.
they shouldn't be doing. I'm not talking about these men. They're too friendly for me, though.
When the president signs a bill into law, he will have reporters into the Oval
It says a bill.
Make a big deal
Let's
out
see
of
if we
it,
can get
kind of give that
a little bit of a
ownership to
screenshot
Sarbanes
here.
and signing and-
No record shall be withheld or delayed over here,
This
redacted.
was done,
It's on the basis of
our
embarrassment
policy,
and the reputation of
when
that
he
man.
when he posted
That man
about
right
it
there.
on Truth Social again at 8:50.
I have nothing to do with
As he
Jeffrey.
posted
He was
about
a
it,
sick
he
pervert.
railed
I
against
bet he was, sir.
Democrats. He says they're affected, and I'm paraphrasing here a bit, but he said they're affected by it more than the Republicans are. And he also
They're
kind of
focusing on all
changed
the wrong
narrative
things
just a little
here.
bit. He said that
The
he's the
schmoigeries.
one who had directed
I swear to
the Leader
you.
of the Senate, John Thune, and the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Believe me.
to
Please
get
believe
this
me.
bill passed. Well, that's not totally true.
After there was a lot of internal fracturing.
I was asked to
that
do this
looked like was gonna
challenge
turn
over
against
here.
him. That's when it seemed like
United
he
States,
turned out to
Canada,
be-
Mexico.
Yeah,
Wait,
over the
United
weekend
States,
is when
Canada,
after
Mexico,
months of
Panama, Haiti, Jamaica,
objecting
Peru.
to this release and
Something
calling
about
votes and all
this
that,
is going to get me
finally over
canceled.
the
I don't
weekend,
know.
He abruptly changed course, but only when it became clear that there was a groundswell, not only among Democrats, but also among many Republicans, to get this passed.
I thought it was interesting, when you hear about the Epstein files, a lot of people always think about
What do you
these
think
emails,
about the
because
Epstein
that's
files?
Really what's been cited. But we're talking about.
I don't know if it's still
records
John
tied to all
Zigote.
kinds
Do
of
you think
different
they're removing the
things, right? All
Republicans?
different
Do
investigations.
you?
What exactly are we talking about that could be?
Not an exhaustive list, but we're talking about flight records,
Okay, well, that's important, right?
anything about Ghislaine Maxwell,
Mhm.
information related to Jeffrey Epstein's death. He committed suicide.
In Manhattan.
in Lower
right?
Manhattan,
Federal lockup in Manhattan.
Yeah. So
a lot of conspiracies about was it
Right.
Whoa, what are you
orchestrated to cover up so and so and so and so. So
He's doing.
details
He's
related
trying to do
that
something
could
I
be
don't think
included in this as well.
was allowed on
and
YouTube.
sort of non-prosecution agreements.
Right.
So this is a very
You are sick turkey there.
expansive list of documents, communications, information. But we should know that so the legislation gives
This man like a
Pam
little too
Bondi, Attorney
happy
General,
to be
30
arrested,
days
doesn't he?
to release this in
He's a little too
searchable,
happy to be caught up with all these
downloadable
scandals.
form. So in theory, you and I should be able to
Did you hear the
click
stuff that
through
they
it
revealed
and
though?
find whatever we want. Now, there are
They
some
own these
loopholes
child
here. And
care
one of them,
centers, and they were
kind of
having
the
these
most-
kids,
there's
human
some
trafficked.
obvious-
People were buying babies.
If any kind of information
I'm not talking about Gerber food.
were to compromise victim privacy,
See if we can get a little bit here.
sort
This
of,
very written
child
word here.
pornography, that's
gonna be
off limits.
redacted.
But what I'm most interested in, what a lot of people are most interested in, are kind of continuing investigations.
Mhm.
So if there's an investigation into, you remember the other day, at the president's direction, Bondi mentioned, Bondi started investigations
Not the
into some
erection.
prominent Democrats.
Right.
Former President Bill Clinton, former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, who was also the one-time head of Parliament.
Larry
And
Summers.
some of the pundits started speculating
in
that maybe Bondi will use these investigations
Bonnie.
as justification to not release certain files.
Was she asked about that?
She was asked about that. Remember, she was asked about that, the sound we're about to hear.
Uh-oh,
is
there's stipulations.
from yesterday morning. So this was before the president.
They don't wanna
actually-
release
this
all
was
the
after
files.
it passed both houses of Congress, but before the president actually signed it. And a reporter asked her, like, "Hey, how are you gonna proceed
I
here?"
got it. All right, so let's take a listen to that sound. This is Pam Bondi.
Oh, we're gonna get to hear from her.
We will continue to follow the law with maximum transparency while protecting victims.
When you say follow the law, Madam Attorney General, do you mean that you will provide all the files by 30 days?
We will follow the law.
All right, so it sounds like she's going to follow the law. And so it's interesting.
She
what
didn't say
you're
yes
saying,
though. I
because
find that
if
questionable.
there are investigations that she says are ongoing, what's related to that could still be redacted.
Oh,
I
she
think she's
can't
saying
reveal
that
the
Epstein
investigative
case was
files.
closed a couple months
Maybe
ago.
those
Isn't she
files
the
will
one who
stay
said that?
investigated
Absolutely.
forever.
4 months ago, she said, "We
Bubba.
determined this case is closed, nothing to see here," and now it's back open. And she was asked yesterday, "Hey, what changed?" She said, "New information."
Okay.
And when asked to elaborate on said information, she
Man is doing selfie pics
So,
over
what is
here.
that new
What the hell's
information?
happening? He's over here doing
she's
duck
not saying.
lips.
But I think it's interesting when she says follow
Did you
the
hear
law,
about this
even that's
man's
open to
mangled
interpretation.
micro penis?
Because what does following the law mean? What she considers to be
An interpretation.
an interpretation or redactable or withholdable documents, someone else may not consider that to be justified.
Oh,
So
he's twerking here.
That's
He's
what we're supposed to
twerking
do.
here.
November 20th, 30 days from now, theoretically would get you before Christmas.
yeah, a couple
so-
days, December 19th.
Yeah.
I think when I looked it
Have
up earlier, it
yourself
should be
a Merry
the 30-day count
Christmas.
starts from yesterday.
Give or take the holidays in
No.
there. All right, so I'm sure we'll be tracking more of it. Robert, thank you very much for hosting Politics Unusual tomorrow and
Yes,
correct?
so Morgan's supposed to,
Morgan
colleague
Mackay,
Morgan
right?
Mackay's gonna be in DC for that all-important meeting with Mamdani and the president. I'll be holding down the fort back here. We're gonna be looking at some of the other political issues of the day. There's a runoff coming up in the Jersey City mayor's race.
Big deal in Jersey City.
We're also looking, Mikey Sherrill, Governor-elect Mikey Sherrill
Yeah.
is expected to resign her seat in Congress by the end of the day today.
Oh, okay.
So we'll kind of take a look at the transition as we go from Phil Murphy to Mikey Sherrill. Plenty of,
and I'm
plenty
sure
of
something else will happen overnight.
Right, the day is young.
All right, it is 10:30.
It's a slow start to the day.
10:30. We've got a news conference that we're
Apparently.
actually tracking. This is out of Queens. They've had a major gang bust with the Queens District Attorney, so we'll go to that live when it happens. And then Mike Woods, he's sitting right over there. He's getting ready.
What?
He's thinking. He's looking at his weather maps. He's considering, contemplating, and we're going to be right back with Mike in a second.
Oh, they're gonna be talking about a gang bust in Queens, I believe. As they're cleaning up the streets here they promise to make it safe for everybody, all bodies, and possibly your body too. I don't know where you're from, but hopefully you're having fun. Hopefully you're having a good time. You know, just keeping up with some of the stories happening today. Let me know if you into watching a movie or something, even though they're gonna just take my life down for that. But you know, whatever. We're here to please the people, not YouTube. And no, we're not sponsored. Winter passes now. It's a little brisk outside, I would tell you. But what's going on, everybody? Excuse the table. We were getting things together, getting ready to, you know, move from here. So I got to figure out how I'm going to move this tree without having to take all the candy canes down. You know, all the candy canes that a diabetic man would want. Would put me into many diabetic comas throughout this holiday season. A very festive tree full of candy canes. But how's everybody doing though? What's going on with you? Are you celebrating the holidays? Do you feel festive? Got a Nightmare Before Christmas shirt in the background laying there. I got a couple things on the side. Jack Skellington soft slippers to slip into whenever I feel I want to get warm and cozy. We have an owl there, but I'll tell you, I'm not part of the Illuminati. I swear to you. I don't care what any of these tattoos say. No, I'm fucking with you. Uh-oh. We're still waiting for them to get back to us. It's 10:31. Their audio is down. They have the B team here. They don't have the morning squad. They got the shitty squad here. We got Deb Bowens. We got Mike Woods. But we don't have... Oh, that's me. I'm over here talking shit about them. I forgot to raise up the volume.
Not sure anything like that overnight. We kind of had nice calm weather.
Yeah, if I wasn't fucking up my lives, then what would I even be doing with my time, people?
It's basically been kind of gloomy-ish looking, but no actual...
Oh, he's talking about the gloom and doom of
wrapped up around mid-morning.
a shitty day, but hopefully you're not having that.
Sun's kind of struggled a little bit, as it's doing here today as well, but it's mainly, it's been clouds.
Oh, I'm dropping all of my props here.
But only to a certain degree, so temps are still a little bit cool outside, but
Stop it.
we have some time off in terms of...
Stop trying to pet the fans.
And a little bit of something tonight. What do we got to worry about tonight?
Yeah, so it's actually tomorrow night.
Okay,
so
so
here's
Friday
the
night?
Yeah, it's tomorrow night that we have the rain.
No, they're gonna ruin out Friday.
It's clouds in the morning, sun in the afternoon.
They're trying to ruin it.
49. Tomorrow we make it up to 54 for a high.
Oh, I
There are
like that.
showers
That's
coming
cool.
through. I know, that's not bad. That's actually above normal temperature. But showers come through the overnight hours, I'd say between about 9 p.m. until about 3 a.m. Saturday morning. Not a lot of rain, just a little bit of rain coming through for us here in the Tri-State, which we actually need a lot more rain. We're about 8 or 9 inches tonight.
Thanks for talking about how much we need rain, which is probably true to keep our situation
Yeah, I
under
should have
control.
did that earlier.
Exactly, but they're like 10% behind. And then we have to start talking about drought situation, the drought monitor, and it gets old.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's been that way for years.
Well,
but
you didn't get to
there
see
aren't
it,
too
so.
many storms going on out there. What we have right there, this just shows the thin cloud cover over the
Who is
But as
that?
you can see, there's nothing
That
going on with the
monstrosity
radar,
over
so
there having
no
a good
rain
time.
here right now. But if you look off to the west and also
Oh,
up to the
summer
north,
coming.
those are the two that are coming
Oh, I
in here
see.
for later tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. But for now, we're okay. 43 for a current temp. I think clouds. It's not bad.
Oh,
So
Friday
for
nights
us-
are going to be a
for
washout.
us, we're
So
okay
watch
in the
out
next
for that
24
water.
hours.
Yes.
What about
All the rain
now,
and
we're in
the
that 7-day
terrain.
window for Turkey Day.
Yeah. Almost. Sort of.
Oh,
Kind of.
Kinda,
turkey.
sort of,
So,
kind of.
the
What do you
7-day
mean?
forecast
Turkeys.
goes out to Wednesday.
Don't talk about my...
Thursday. So the 7-day forecast stops at Wednesday, okay?
All right.
Hopefully you
So
are
that's
getting
the day
ready to
before.
enjoy some
so
food
what
and
we-
family
but
and
it does
fun.
look like we have some rain on both Tuesday and Wednesday, but those are actually the more important days because those are the travel days
Yeah, you're right.
for a lot of folks that
Don't
get out there,
forget.
whether it's on the roads or in the air,
I'm Uncle
getting
Bobby.
trains, whatever the case may be.
So we might have a little bit of rain Tuesday
Right.
and Wednesday. Is it like a little bit, or is it like it's like
There's a
okay.
decent little storm on Wednesday for us, as it
Wednesday for
stands
sure?
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I never say for sure. You know me.
Most likely. What about you? Are you
I'm
sticking
saying
around?
Should have
there's a
finished
chance.
Are you sticking around? Are you hanging out for Thanksgiving? Where are you going?
I'm actually going. I work through Thanksgiving,
Okay.
and then I'm off for
Should've
a few
finished.
days after that.
I don't know.
Black Friday and then
I just got
Tuesday
bored.
next week.
Nice.
So yeah, take a little time, go see.
Sometimes
some,
I don't have
friends
all the
up
time in the world to
and
draw
maybe go to-
monsters.
Oh, it goes to
Ah.
Or exactly, because it's not cold enough here, so I might as well go find some snow and maybe some moose, some meese.
Moose.
Moose. Some
So
meat.
you and you're getting in the spirit. I
He's
know
talking about
you were up
plural
late
over
last
here.
night.
I was.
What were you doing? What
So-
were you doing? I think we got some video. Mike,
I say some
everyone wants
crazy-
to know what Good
What I
Time
did
Charlie,
last
Good
night?
Time Mikey is doing. So
Well,
where were you at, Mike?
I
Let's
can't
go.
resist,
Mike,
you know,
Mike,
a
Mike,
good
Mike.
time, Good Time Charlie last night. Last night was the opening night for the Radio City Christmas Spectacular out at Rockefeller Center.
Hold on, there we go.
And yeah, we're gonna have. Ooh.
Tyler, we got the video of Mike. It's right there. It's right next to
Oh,
that one, to your right.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah,
See,
that's the one. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
you got that shot, that
yeah,
cool
look at
jacket on
that.
Mike.
Look at that.
And you see, so there it is. This
So, okay,
is
so
before
where are
the
we at?
show.
Where are we at?
And this is during the show. You know, they got all the classic scenes going on out there. And this is what do they call this? March of the Toy Soldiers or something
Yes,
like that?
yes,
March
And
of
then
the Wooden Soldiers. You should know, Mike
young kid
Woods.
comes out and he
You fucking
fires
it up.
off. It's just such a cool show. If you've never seen the Christmas Spectacular and you live here in the tri-state region, shame on you.
You
Get
gotta do
over there
it.
and check it out.
And it's the 100th
100th anniversary.
Shame
Wow.
on you.
And this was the opening night?
This is opening night last night. They
I
had
still
like
didn't finish
a
this one.
rehearsal, so to speak, or whatever.
The Labubu
But it's,
kicking
you know,
my
the show's going to
beheaded
go on.
head off.
But they had not only was it opening
Yeah.
night, but they had a bunch of the alumni.
I'm still
broadcasts
alive,
out in the
though.
audience, and they were kind of scattered
It didn't unalive
and
me.
in the beginning, in the opening ceremony, they had a bunch of the Rockettes, and they were all over the place. And I mean, these are Rockettes that may have been from 40, 50 years ago, or whatever the case may be. It was pretty impressive. But it's a cool show. They've
The
done a lot of
Rockettes.
updating with this show. I mean, it still has the classic Rockettes, but they've got, you know, like
All kinds of stuff.
graphics and so on.
Right.
It's all throughout the ceiling and drones and all sorts of cool
See,
stuff.
that's the
So-
Rocket
so
show
check it
people
out.
wanted
You
to
gotta go
see,
check
not
that
this
out if you
other
get a
one that
chance.
was going on. It was
I
like a
know.
drag queen
Seal of
show.
approval. Mike, thank you
I
so
thought
much.
Cuomo-
And,
Absolutely.
check in with you tomorrow.
And some other people gonna
you're
show up
going
to
out
that.
tonight? Or you got some
Tonight I'm staying. I'm gonna do my
Oh.
Taco Tuesday on Thursdays.
I see your nipple
Stay
clamps,
there.
Cuomo.
Right back. Jessica Formoso is here.
You
She's
know
got some
Mario
very
Cuomo.
interesting information for
And
us
I don't even like
about
him.
what's going on in the city. Did you hear about that very controversial ICE raid that happened in the city? We've got
Uh-oh.
some video that we want to show you right back.
They're gonna cut to that ICE raid that I talked about a little bit ago. Maybe we'll get a little bit more insight about that as the show goes on, people. Because they say that this is the song that doesn't end. But I'm not gonna get arrested or, you know, thrown into court for singing that song. Ah, this is a bald man. We'll give you this for the moment. Have yourself a very Merry Christmas time.
The Baldy Pro. Only
The Baldy Pro,
Hey
yeah.
guys, so whenever I need more space
Wow,
in my wardrobe, I
that's crazy.
sell everything I don't wear anymore on Vinted.
Are
It's
you
an app
feeling
for
the
sticking
spirits of the
home fashion.
holidays?
I can get some extra cash by giving my clothes a second life. Win-win.
Hopefully you were enjoying the morning rush. But what's going on? Does anybody have any interest? Anything you would like me to run? Let me know.
Hey.
All you gotta do is comment,
If you don't wear it, sell
and I'll
it.
get back to you.
Must your Instagram lunch teen accounts, defaulting all teens.
Let me
into
know if you
automatic
enjoy the
protections.
news.
For who can con-
You know, whatever you get into. But right now, I might bust out an art piece in a little bit in between the conversation. And then we can see where it goes from there.
These big firms come from out of town.
These big fans. Has anybody ever heard of them stages radio? Oh, Rudolph! I swear that lady sounds like that Jackson 5 Rudolph.
I work here.
Oh, they running down this cat like the ops over here.
It's good to be local. Harris, keep it.
But if anybody wants that early morning shout out like John, Zay Goat, all you gotta do is comment on the show. Say hello. Let me know what you want me to do. Just waiting for this to get back. Uh-oh. Let's see if we check out this video situation with ICE.
Maybe the Fox local app. You can see we've got our big board of video here. Video elements from all across the city. Definitely down in Washington, D.C., where there's a lot of action. We've got some of our skyline shots, and we want to let you know pretty much everything that we can that's happening around the city. And one thing a lot of people are talking about is the video from this raid It was an ICE raid, right? It was an immigration raid, and this is something that happened a while ago, but we're just getting some of the first elements of the video. Where did this happen?
Yeah, so it happened last Thursday in Elmhurst,
so last
Queens.
week.
Last week.
Okay.
So last week in Elmhurst, Queens. I mean,
We've been hearing about it in Chicago, LA, and now New York.
The gist of the story, what happened
These
here
ICE
is there's a
raids.
family in their home, a mom with a 2-year-old and her 12-year-old. There, you can see the mom's in bed, and they barge in. ICE agents barge in with guns drawn, and you can hear the exchange there. Let's take a listen at the video so you guys can hear exactly what went down.
Okay.
Stupid. Come
Where's
on.
my baby?
Come out here.
Where's my baby? No.
Stupid. Come
Where's
on.
my baby?
Come out here.
Where's my baby? No.
Maybe for maybe he was.
They cut the video. They didn't want to show this lady get roughed up, probably.
She's saying it's my kids, it's me, it's my baby. And then
One
they're
second, I have my
running,
baby.
they took
One
this woman away.
second.
So they did take her away.
Okay.
You know, they do barge in.
This
They
Goonie
were
over
told
here.
By the Immigration Coalition, the New York Immigration Coalition, who obtained this video and shared the video with us.
He's a tough man, roughing up an old lady, apparently.
Pulled the woman out of the bed. She was
Okay.
holding her 2-year-old baby in her arms, and you can hear her there saying, "My baby's in my arms. My baby's in my arms." According to DHS, which is the Department of Homeland Security, they were looking for someone else. They weren't looking for her.
Okay.
They're saying that they were looking for her cousin. She says her cousin has not lived there for a very long time, for years.
I think this is an interesting part of the
This
video too, 'cause
is
is that an
NYPD.
It's NYPD.
Yes.
So NYPD pulls up. This is Elmhurst, Queens. Somebody called.
So who has the
911,
authority,
right?
the
Okay, so
NYPD
somebody
or
called the
ICE
cops and said, "Look,
agents?
something's going on.
Yes, they
seems
thought it was
weird.
a robbery.
They thought it was a robbery because a lot of times those immigration officials are wearing.
Mask.
I mean,
those
this thing
masks
could have
and
been
you can't
even
really
uglier,
identify
you know,
them
with that whole
for the reason,
thing.
for their safety and all that. But so somebody thinks there's a robbery. The NYPD shows up, and then what happens?
So NYPD shows up. You see the agent, the federal agent,
Mm-hmm.
ICE agent, going to the window and pretty much just waves him away. The cop, you
Yeah.
know,
Says, "We're here, this is
yeah, it's
federal,
like
Get the
this
fuck
is federal,
outta
this is what we're
here."
doing. Like, and the NYPD, you see them
And
driving
he left.
away.
Okay.
He followed his
Afterwards, what
orders.
happens? And I have to be specific about the timing and how long that clip was, right? That we see them barging in. It was an 18-second clip,
Yeah.
and then you see the agents a bit later outside of the home. Now, according to the New York Immigration
Give me a
Coalition,
second. I
they say
apologize.
that they had the wrong person, the cousin.
I don't
never
have the
lived
normal
there, but
setup
many
to
years
hold
ago
this
and
phone
hasn't lived there
proper.
since.
Okay.
And they're saying that they showed up without a warrant. As you know, you need a warrant signed by a judge in order to go into someone's home.
And I think we hear from immigration advocates. who
No,
put out
the
this video.
law.
Okay, so let's see if we can hear what their side and what their take is on this.
What is their take?
Do we have the
From
statements?
her
Right?
bed with her children in her bed, where they were pointing a gun at her. They yanked her out of the bed in front of her children and then started questioning her, realizing she wasn't the person they were looking for, but that didn't stop them from
I'm a
threatening
pig.
to come back.
So what?
All right, so you heard sort of his description there, and you said, and
Yes.
then the DHS put out a statement
They
as well,
did.
and obviously there's two sides to
It's
this
two-side service story, and of course, we have to report both sides. We reached out to the Department of Homeland Security asking exactly what happened and what went down in this incident. They're telling us that any allegation, I'm reading here word for word, any allegation that ICE officers threatened a woman and her children with a firearm is false.
This is highly
Officers approached the
exaggerated,
residence
they say.
and knocked on the door for about 20 minutes,
Okay.
attempting to gain
What's your opinion on this?
cooperation to enter. They said there was no response, and that's when the officers, which are trained,
And remember, we don't
lawfully
judge here.
entered the home. But according to the Immigration Coalition and the woman, they say that the agents did not have a warrant. And
Do
just
you
so
feel
you know, legally,
if this
by
is a
law,
false video,
if the agents
just
don't have a
stirring up
signed
all the hype here,
valid
or do you
warrant
think this
by
is
a
happening?
judge, they cannot enter your home.
It's one of those situations.
I mean,
where
there are
statement says
people
one
currently
thing, video
getting
kinda tells a
packed up
different
out
story.
here. You know, they're packing people the
We're
fuck
not
up
getting
and
the
sending them
whole
out.
entire video, so
Taking
I'll
them
just say
to,
one video.
you know,
Jessica,
all
thank you
sorts of
very
different
much.
Just, you know, but it
places.
is
I can't say
disturbing just to
Venezuela
see,
because we
and
seem
I
to
know
having
it's only
problems
18
with them
seconds,
now.
but the back and forth.
Yeah.
With
You know,
Maduro.
just really,
For sure,
you're like,
especially for
what
kids.
exactly
Not
happened to
Moderna,
the kids?
Maduro,
And
the
also
man
says
that took
her
over
kids,
the country. They say
frightened,
this man is
they
slinging
have
drugs all
design,
around the streets.
Somebody barging
And they
in.
still didn't find the cousin, as far as I
No,
know.
and also another point too, they're saying that the cousin does
Mira, ella
have
está
a criminal
buscando.
record,
¿Qué está
illegally,
pasando con esto?
re-entered the country.
Hielo. Mira,
some
yo está
driving
tratando de
issues.
hablar,
So,
puñeta.
yes, so he, you know, they're looking for someone with a record.
All right, Jessica, thank you very much.
Mira,
10:43,
Hielo, tú puedes checar tu
we're talking
madre,
about this
cabrones.
news conference that's in Queens. That's going to be starting in just a few minutes, and so they're getting set up for that.
A bus, right?
Yeah, it's a big bus, one of the biggest buses they've ever had in
You're
Queens.
talking
The
about a
second
big
largest.
bust.
So that's up on Line View 4, Tyler. I don't know if we can
They said
duck
that
into
bus
that
is so
for just
big,
a
it was better
second.
than busting
so
a
you
nut.
can see these are some of the individuals.
They said
that
Lorenzo
are involved in the
Steffens,
situation.
Enzo over
Get
there.
these
Enzo,
conference
really?
started. We're going to take a quick break.
Series of
and
guns?
some of the evidence, and we'll be right back. with you with that
Blickies?
news conference.
What is happening here, people? This is gonna get crazy. They taking too long to get to this story, dog. I tell you, they taking.
Work has been.
Oh, you got some competition here. What?
Luckily,
Huh?
AI mode in Google search
Stop
help us
fighting
play.
it. Ah,
It's gotta
fuck
be
you.
quick, and it's gotta be.
Ah, he's mad. Ah, wow.
But now, everything's crazy.
Will it be gravy?
Just ask Google.
Hey, you know the feeling when you realize you bought things you'll never use? Sound familiar?
Sam Hyde is here. What's going on, Sam Hyde? Can you show us your best drawing?
These boots.
I don't have a best drawing available right now.
If you've been
I got everything put up.
now you can sell what you don't
Just getting
have
ready
on Vinted. It's simple.
to walk out here. But maybe I can find something that is good. Maybe I can whip up a drawing that's good. Just been having a little bit of fun. I got a lot of different stuff,
Download Vinted. If you don't wear it, sell
but
it.
everything is put up right now, unfortunately. But it's for good reasons, fortunately. So I'll just say that. But yeah. Give me a second.
Hey, law. I was
Now, how's your day going? Sam is here. Sam Hyde is here. I'm sorry.
Hey, Paylor! I work here. Yo, 800 Paylor. It's good to be local. Harris, Keenan, and Goldfarb. If you're in pain, you need law.
You need love. But for now, he's one of the better ones. I didn't really have time to finish anything. I've been doing this stuff on the go, either sitting down or driving, so it's a little tricky, but it's all in good fun.
All right, welcome back. It is 10:46. Let's take a look at our big board there. You can see
Hold
in
on.
the second video from the bottom on the left-hand side. That is
Excuse
Live
my
News
message.
4. This
Hey,
is the
Bob.
news conference that's going to start in just a few minutes. It's out in Queens. If we can take it full just for
Let
a
me see
second,
what we can
Tyler,
get.
you can see they're displaying a handgun here. This was one of several handguns that are
See if
out
we can
on
get this
a
set up so you
table
can see this.
that the Queens DA, Melinda Katz, is going to be talking about in just a few minutes. They have that big board up. Supposed to be one of the largest gang busts that they've ever had in Queens. So we're expecting that that's going to start.
Yeah,
in
this
just a
one
few
for this
minutes, and when
book.
it does, we will bring it to you live. First, though, I want to talk about something that happened just before we went on the air. And so we can take a look at this video. This was actually a rescue that happened in Upper Manhattan. This was 171st Street, Have Avenue, I believe, is the address
Have.
that I have written down here. You can see it's an extensive
Behave.
response from the FDNY, some of those emergency crews who were on scene, and they had to rescue. If you take a close look, there's a guy there who's on a stretcher. So he apparently had fallen into a 15-foot hole of some kind, or
Damn.
had fallen 15 feet. Not sure if he was in a hole or if he was somewhere, and then he fell. Either way, he needed a rescue, and
That's
he
crazy.
was stuck there for a little while. So they had this huge
Forget
response
balling. This man was
by the
balling.
FDNY. Yeah, this is Haven Avenue. Now, when we looked it up, Haven Avenue, this address actually comes back to Bard College, the Haven Towers that are up there, which are residential towers. So we're just sort of working to get clarification on exactly who was involved and what happened. But the individual in the stretcher does look like someone who it may have been a worker there. You can see he's got that kind of utility vest on. We think he hurt his leg. So this was a situation that unfolded probably at about 9:50. An extensive response from the FDNY. They weren't sure exactly how to help this person at first. Then they were able to sort of navigate around some of the issues that they were dealing with, and they were able to get a handle on it. They pulled him out. and it looks like he's got a leg injury. So that was something that, of course, here at Newsroom Live, because we are able to bring you things as they happen and very quickly, that is a situation we wanted to tell you about. Maybe you won't hear about it the rest of the day, but our chopper was up, flying around, caught a video of that, and here we go. We also wanted to bring you back over to Live View 4, because that is where the Queens District Attorney, that is Melinda Katz, Melinda Katz, who is giving a news conference as we speak right now about the big gang bust that they had. Let's take a listen.
His folks from the Gun Violence Suppression Division, Homicide Squad, 103rd, 105th, 107th, 111th, 113th, and 116th precincts. We're here to announce the indictment of 32 reputed gang members as part of what's called Operation Shadyville. This is the largest single gang takedown in the history of Queens County. It is the second largest gang takedown, which included different gangs also from this administration, which was about 3 years ago. This is a 97 count indictment against, like I said, the single gang called Badco Ball Out Gang, which is made up of both self-made Mac ballers and 5-5 neighborhood Crips. We have charged a total of 13 incidents of gunfire, 13 fatal shootings, 2 non-fatal shootings, 8 shots fired incidents that did not strike a person. 14 out of the 32 of the defendants are in fact shooters, and there are 6 individual victims, 3 murdered by gunfire, 1 struck by the car driven by an innocent man who was shot and killed by the gunfire, and 2 non-fatal shooting victims. This violence spanned across the borough of Queens County. It was in Queens Village, Hollis, Jamaica, Fresh Meadows, Kew Garden Hills, St. Albans, and Cambria Heights.
They were letting this get out of hand.
Approximately 17 firearms, which you have before you, were seized during this investigation. We allege that these defendants have become the most violent gang in the borough of Queens County, creating fear and violence throughout this borough. The defendants are variously charged with murder, conspiracy, weapons possession, related charges. All have been charged with at least conspiracy in the second degree, face up to 15 years. Others have been charged with conspiracy in the first degree. They face over 25 years to life. 6 of the defendants are charged with the conspiracy in the first degree. Like I said, one of the highest charges available to law enforcement today. 23 of these defendants were apprehended yesterday morning by our partners in the New York City Police Department, while 6 of the other defendants were already incarcerated on other matters. 23 of the defendants were remanded or held on high-dollar bail in court yesterday by Judge Holder and Judge DiBiase. We thank our partners in the judicial system for their efforts. 3 defendants remain unapprehended. 6 will be arraigned at a later date. We allege that the leader of this gang is called Javan Atapuco, who goes by the street name Shady. He was responsible for arming and organizing local teenagers. He also gave permission to gang members to shoot rivals. The group primarily operated from Atapuco's home in Queens Village. And remember, the Queens Village is a quiet residential neighborhood. They called it Shadyville. I refuse to give up the neighborhood. It's called Queens Village, where he stored, procured, and distributed firearms. Many of the individuals charged in this indictment live in Queens Village. For the last 4 years, members of the Badco gang have been in an ongoing feud with their perceived enemies, Top Op Macballers, 5th Clack, and BG4. The groups are battling for territorial dominance in Southeast Queens, and it was common practice for Badco members to travel the geographic territories controlled by rival gangs in vehicles, on scooters and bikes, and you know we have a large initiative on the scooters, and they seek out rival gang members to target for shooting. The defendants also called this practice spinning the block. They would seek the rival gang members by spinning the block, and many acts of violence were typically precipitated by taunts on social media. There are also social media provocations meant to lure rivals into Badco territory so that they may be targeted for the acts of violence. Make no mistake, this group didn't care whether they were shooting in busy intersections, whether they were shooting by schools, playgrounds, or very near residential homes or apartment buildings. After the shooting, it was common for members of the gang to brag about their exploits on music videos posted on YouTube and other social media platforms. There's also a number of daytime shootings associated with Badco. Think about what the daytime shootings bring. Think about people walking to school, coming from school, seniors going to senior centers, doing your shopping. One defendant's exploits were so well known that his nickname was Broad Day. Broad Day, for the number of broad daylight shootings he participated in. The violence associated with this group is truly staggering. I'm going to highlight a few of those incidents for you. On March 25th, 2022, multiple defendants planned to shoot a rival gang member outside Cardozo High School. Defendant Sean Chang, who was known as Broad Day, went to the school at dismissal time, and he fired multiple rounds from a .380 caliber semi-automatic pistol, and it struck the rival gang member. This shooting happened at 3 p.m. On June 7th.
News conference, again, that is the Queens District Attorney. She's talking about a really large gang bust that happened in the Queens area. She said it's second largest in history and the largest for the certain category that they were looking at. 32 people who were arrested and at least 13 fatalities linked to that particular gang bust. So we'll be learning more about that throughout the rest of the day. We'll be keeping track of it. We also wanted to sort of tell you about what's happening in the city, other parts, because the other big story today is what's happening with Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani, and he certainly made headlines yesterday. Let's take a look. We've got a New York Post cover. This was yesterday when, there we go, say yes to Jess, say yes to the Jess. That's when Zohran Mamdani approved that, or confirmed.
That's how you know this man is not from New York.
As the police commissioner. On the back page of the New York Post, we got a little Knicks headline, and Knicks had a good game last night. It was a close one. There we go. Landry Shamet hit a couple big three-pointers at the end there. Shamrocks is what it said. And before we sign off, which will be in just a minute or two, wanted to bring you a piece of sound that we heard a little earlier in this broadcast, just in case you did not hear it. But this was Zohran Mamdani, the mayor-elect, confirming that he will be going down to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Donald Trump. Let's take a listen to that and why he says he's going to do that.
I'm going to ask you about the Epstein files personally.
Morning, everyone. Morning. Everyone set?
Can you dig it?
I will be heading to Washington, D.C. tomorrow to meet with President Trump in the White House. It is customary for an incoming mayor of this city to meet with the White House, given the mutual reliance. It's more critical than ever, given the national crisis of affordability, one that New Yorkers know very well across these 5 boroughs, and the specific challenge many cities are facing with balancing public safety against steps taken by this administration. I know that for tens of thousands of New Yorkers, this meeting is between 2 very different candidates who they voted for the same reason. They wanted a leader who would take on the cost of living crisis that makes it impossible for working people to afford living in this city. My team reached out to the White House to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable.
Again, this man is very
desperate. 8.5 million people who call this city home. I have many disagreements with the president, and I believe that we should be relentless and pursue all avenues and all meetings that can make our city affordable for every single New Yorker. I intend to make it clear to President Trump that I will work with him on any agenda that benefits New Yorkers. If an agenda hurts New Yorkers, I will also be the first to say so. Thank you.
Oh, really?
That was Zohran Mamdani speaking before at City Hall Park. You can see City Hall is in the background there, confirming that he will be heading down to Washington, D.C.
You think they're going to have an ICE vehicle waiting for this man after he goes out that meeting?
At ELC2, something else that is happening in the country right now. This is the funeral for Dick Cheney, former Vice President Dick Cheney. You can see former President George W. Bush, his wife Laura Bush, former President Joe Biden, his wife Jill Biden, former Vice President and presidential nominee Kamala Harris, former Vice President Mike Pence, and his wife Karen Pence. You can see they are in the front row this morning paying their respects to former Vice President Dick Cheney. That is something you can also stream live on our YouTube channel if it is something that you would like to keep track of. And one of the things that we are streaming on our YouTube channel. So you can always go ahead and keep track of that, watch it, listen, and see what we're doing all throughout the city. We can take a live look at, let's see, where are we going to go? You want to go to Times Square? You want to go to Brooklyn? Where are we going to go? There we go, Times Square. A beautiful view of our city. It's a nice, crisp day out there today. Hey, you got Thanksgiving plans already? Maybe you do. Maybe you're just sort of counting down the days until you can get out of here next week. We hope you have a good day no matter what you are doing. Thank you so much for tuning in to Newsroom Live. We'll try to check you out tomorrow. If you can't, stay with us. Certainly watch the noon, the 6, the 5, the 4, the 10. We got, anytime you want to turn on Channel 5, either our streaming channel or here at Fox 5, there's a good chance that we got some news to bring you. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thanks for watching Fox 5's Newsroom Live. We're now joining Live Now's non-stop stream of live and breaking news.
Let's shake it. We hide. The funeral for former VP Dick Cheney. Are they having the 10 bell count of silence? Ding! Ding! Where is Cheney's soul? Where is Cheney's soul? I like the Undertaker right now. Where is he hiding it? I was doing something. Somebody tearing something up. But, you know, I don't know if they're showing this man his respects here. What do you feel like getting into? What do you feel like checking out? Maybe I can switch up on the channel. We don't have to get so much Dick Cheney in here. Not everybody wants to wake up and get so much Dick. Did we get stuck with this? What happened here?
Mark, I want to pull a little bit more on that thread because Cheney was a prominent Republican.
Oh, they're going to give you some background information.
He's a very vocal critic of President Trump. How was the Republican Party that he helped lead different from what we see in the party today?
Dramatically different, Diane, for a variety of reasons. And if you look back at the Republicanism of Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush and George W.
Oh,
Bush,
the crack era.
and the people in their administrations, including Dick Cheney, they practiced a very different kind of
Come on, baby.
In many cases, they were pro-immigrant. They were pro-democracy in the world. They were anti-tariff, pro-free trade, very different. And I think the exception that Dick Cheney had toward Donald Trump related to democracy, particularly the threat to democracy that Donald Trump posed on January 6th. And of course, we saw Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney's former congressman daughter, serve on the committee to look into the attacks on the Capitol on January 6th. And as Mary mentioned, Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney voted for Kamala Harris in the election of 2024. So no love lost between many that we see in the church today and Donald Trump and his administration. Thank you.
And Karen, you were in embed on the campaign trail when they were running for office. And today, former President Bush will speak about his vice president. What do you expect to hear
the
from
Bush
him?
people?
I think we got a little preview in the statement that the former president released after Cheney's passing, where he called him a decent, honorable man and one of the finest public servants of his generation.
I don't know about that.
I think we'll hear from the former president talking about Cheney's decades of service here in Washington, from a White House aide, chief of staff, to a member of Congress, defense secretary, and then serving as his vice president. Knowing George W. Bush, I think there will be some humor in it. Of course, perhaps talking about how Dick Cheney led the search committee for his running mate back in 2000 and then ultimately became the running mate. So maybe there will be some laughs about that. But I think he'll talk about how he truly believed in the conservative principles that he fought for and defended, even when they were very not popular during the Bush administration. And I think he'll also talk about his love of his family, and that will be an important theme for today. That statement from the former president when Cheney passed said that his love for America was second only to his family. We're going to hear from his daughter Liz Cheney there today. We're also going to hear from his grandchildren. They're going to pay tribute to their grandfather. And I spent months on the campaign trail with Cheney back in 2004, and the Cheney grandchildren were a consistent presence out there on the campaign trail. They traveled with us on Air Force Two. Now they're all grown up and adults themselves, and they'll be speaking there today at the Washington National Cathedral.
And Mark Cheney's considered one of the most influential vice presidents in U.S. history, but he was also polarizing as a key architect of the Iraq War. What made him different from other vice presidents, and how much do you think that will define his legacy?
What made him different from the other spineless
tableau
weasels?
Of former vice presidents who are attending this ceremony today. You see Vice Presidents Quayle and Gore and Harris and Pence. They all had presidential ambitions. Dick Cheney did not. And when George W. Bush chose him as his running mate after he headed up the search committee, Cheney tried to talk him out of it. He said, "Look, I'm really
Don't
concerned,
do it, man.
and
Don't
you
fucking
don't
do
need
it.
my home
I'm
state
telling you."
of Wyoming." He said, "I'm also in the oil industry." At the time, he was the CEO of Halliburton. George W. Bush and his father, George H.W. Bush, had been in the oil industry. But George W. Bush trusted Dick Cheney. He liked Dick Cheney. However, as you said, he became a very controversial vice president, particularly as the advocate of the war in Iraq, which became a very controversial war and ultimately, I think, an example of failed foreign policy. He was the chief proponent of the war, and I think that is a major part of Dick Cheney's legacy, Diane.
And Perry, what are you watching for now as the funeral gets started?
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what the speakers have to say about this larger-than-life figure here in Washington. Very much a Washington insider and a culture now that very much honors the Washington outsiders. I mean, his career spanning generations. Also very curious to see what both his daughter Liz Cheney have to say and also former President Bush will be speaking, what they have to say. As Vice President Dick Cheney really straddled both lines of being the face of the Republican Party early 2000 and later on in life being one of the leading vocal voices against now President Trump.
All right, Karen Travers, Perry Russ, and Mark Updegrove, thank you all.
The Epstein files.
The Justice Department now has 30 days to turn over the Epstein files after President Trump says he signed the bill. The president made the announcement on social media last night, alleging links between Democrats and Epstein, quote, will soon be revealed. Now, questions are growing over when, how, and to what degree the DOJ will release the files. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the details.
So you can explain
the White House had gone to
details.
great lengths to try to kill this legislation, but the pressure from Trump's base was simply too much. And now the bill to release the Epstein files is now law. But just because this has Trump's signature does not guarantee that the full files will be made public. Facing relentless pressure from his own party, President Trump signing the bill to release the FBI files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Trump announcing it on social media while arguing the Epstein, quote, hoax is nothing more than an attempt to distract from his agenda, and again trying to shift the focus to Democrats associated with Epstein. Writing perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their associations with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed, because I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. In his post, the president claims he was the driving force behind the bill's passage, but the White House went to great lengths to prevent Congress from ever voting on it. And Trump could release the files at any time. The president only offering his support for the bill once it was clear Republicans on the Hill were going to defy him and vote to release the files over his objections. Epstein and Trump were friends for more than a decade. After Epstein's arrest in 2019, Trump said he hadn't spoken to him in 15 years. He insists he broke off the friendship when he learned Epstein was luring away young female staffers who worked at Mar-a-Lago. The Justice Department now has 30 days to follow through and release the files, but that does not guarantee that the full files will be made public. Lawmakers now warning the administration not to cherry-pick the files, but release them as Congress directed.
This is not an invitation for Donald Trump to pick and choose his version of the truth.
She doesn't have carte blanche to a whole tranche of files.
Press Thomas, Attorney General Pam Bondi refusing to explain how this will proceed and what, if anything, will be released.
But we will continue to follow the law, again, while protecting victims, but also providing maximum transparency.
The bill includes exceptions,
I heard that
including a
before.
provision to withhold files they determined would jeopardize an active federal investigation or prosecution. A notable caveat, given Trump recently ordered an investigation into Epstein's relationships with prominent Democrats. But Trump ordering that probe after Bondi herself closed the Epstein investigation back in July, insisting there was no there, that the administration found no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties.
What changed since then that you launched this investigation?
Information that has come for there's information, that new information, additional information, and again, we will continue to follow the law, to investigate any leads. If there are any victims, we encourage all victims to come forward.
She's a lady of many words.
Now, for the survivors, this bill becoming law caps a decades-long fight. The family of Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most well-known victims, telling ABC News, quote, "This moment is nothing short of monumental." They are applauding the work of all of the survivors while cautioning that work isn't finished yet. Diane.
All right, Mary Bruce, thank you. And the Trump
What do you think
administration is
about that
reacting to a
situation?
delayed September jobs report. The U.S. economy added 119,000